Time's Up did a fantastic, fantastic job. Give Time's Up a round of applause.
The investigation found that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed current and former New York State employees by engaging in unwelcome and non-consensual touching and making numerous offensive comments of a suggestive and sexual nature that created a hostile work environment for women.
You will never solve a problem in life you are unwilling to admit.
I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances.
And denial is not a life strategy. We've denied this for too long. And what Time's Up has said, and what the victims who have spoken up have said, and what the advocates have said is, enough is enough. We're not going to let you sweep it under the carpet anymore.
I have heard Charlotte and her lawyer, and I understand what they are saying. But they read into comments that I made and draw inferences that I never meant. They ascribe motives I never had. And simply put, they heard things that I just didn't say.
It's a societal acknowledgement that says to victims all across the state and all across this nation, we hear you, we believe you, and we will stand with you.
There is another complaint I want to address from a woman in my office who said that I groped her in my home office. Let me be clear, that never happened.
And we condemn this behavior as strongly as you do.
Trial by newspaper or biased reviews are not the way to find the facts in this matter. I welcome the opportunity for a full and fair review before a judge and a jury, because this just did not happen.
The independent investigation has concluded that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women, and in doing so violated federal and state law.
The current law says sexual harassment has to be severe or pervasive. Severe or pervasive. On that threshold, you have some despicable acts that have been performed repeatedly, where the court has determined they're not severe enough or they're not pervasive enough.
The New York Times published a front page picture of me touching a woman's face at a wedding and then kissing her on the cheek. That is not front page news.
Oh, so I can sporadically sexually harass someone as long as I don't go so far as it becomes pervasive. No, it is a terrible legal standard.
I've been making the same gesture in public all my life. It is meant to convey warmth, nothing more.
Let's honor all the women who have suffered this pain and endured this humiliation.
I now understand that there are generational or cultural perspectives that, frankly, I hadn't fully appreciated.
Let's honor the women who have had the courage to come forward and tell their story, even though it was personally hard and difficult. And let's actually change things, because that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Politics and bias are interwoven throughout every aspect of this situation. One would be naive to think otherwise.
It has to be a wake-up call to society. And when we change these laws, we're not just changing laws, we're saying to men, enough is enough.
These interviews and pieces of evidence reveal a deeply disturbing yet clear picture. Governor Cuomo sexually harassed current and former state employees in violation of both federal and state laws. The independent investigation found that Governor Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women, many of whom were young women, by engaging in unwanted groping, kisses, hugging, and by making inappropriate comments.
It has been a male-dominated society. It is. The expression, it's a man's world. And the power dynamic, that is very true. And many men have abused that power through harassment, through sex, and it's a dark spot on this country.
The governor and his senior team took actions to retaliate against at least one former employee for coming forward with her story, her truth. And Governor Cuomo's administration fostered a toxic workplace that enabled harassment and created a hostile work environment where staffers did not feel comfortable coming forward with complaints about sexual harassment due to a climate of fear and given the power dynamics.
We wouldn't be here without the people in this room. Change comes hard, even when it's right. Even when it's right, change is still hard to accomplish. And it takes committed people who have the courage to stand up and make the case even when it's hard. And this was hard for many people on a personal level to get up and tell their story. And you have my deepest respect for what you've done. And you have made the world better.
But none of this would have been illuminated if not for the heroic women who came forward. And I am inspired by all the brave women who came forward. But more importantly, I believe them. And I thank them for their bravery. And I thank the independent investigators for their professionalism, despite the attacks, and for their dogged determination that brought us to the truth.
Yes. Let me ask you about Governor Cuomo of New York. I know you said you want the investigation to continue. If the investigation confirms the claims of the women, should he resign?
Yes, I think he probably ended up being prosecuted, too.